tiny little pomegranate right here. Now, this is an actual size that something was found in the cave that we're going to speak of in a moment on the way to find the ark.
Yes, there's a tunnel that eventually led to the ark in Mr. White's excavations from 79 to 82. I believe this was found in 1979. It's a little ivory pomegranate that the Israeli Antiquities Authority, Mr. White, gave it to them. Of course, anything he would find during the dig, he would turn over to them. If it was not of any value, they would give it back to him. But they kept this. But shortly afterwards, the Israel Antiquities Authority some things were stolen out of it.
Oh.
And this was one of the items. And so it ended up in the hands of a French antiquities dealer. And so the Israel Antiquities Authority had to buy it back. And it's documented they spent $550,000 buying this back because they knew it was real.
$500,000.
Yes.
For that.
Right.
Now, why is it so special?
Because it's the only item from the first temple ever made public or ever found made public.
Really?
So on the shoulder of it, it says, "Holy to the priests in the temple of Yahweh." So this was a priestly item. There's a hole drilled in the bottom of it where a little scepter would stick up into the bottom of it.
Okay.
So Ron did turn it over to them. It appears in the Biblical Archaeology Review ever so often. There was an article last year, 2016, about it. There's no formal dig associated with it. So some of the people who don't know the inside information about the Ark of the Covenant, they're skeptical of it. Where did this come from? How could this have appeared, out of nowhere?
Yeah.
But, Ron did operate under a permit, but only a few people knew about it. And it was found in his early stages of the excavation.
Now, another thing we have on this table, which I'm sure people are wondering about, is this giant sword. Will you hold that up for a second?
Yes.
Just look at the size of this thing.
This was found inside the cave with the Ark of the Covenant. And we've got a slide later showing the verse in the Bible that states that the sword was kept with the priest in the tabernacle, which is pretty unusual. And David went to the priest to borrow it, and he said, "There's none like it." So it's a very unique sword. It's very large. That's the first thing you see is it's very long. It's 62 inches long, 5 feet 2 inches. That's the first thing. The next thing you see are these rounded hand guards.
This is a very accurate replica then.
Yes, this is the shape of Goliath's sword.
Okay.
Found in the cave with the Ark of the Covenant.
Goliath's sword.
Goliath's sword.
Okay.
Yes. So it was kept with the temple furnishings. We're told in 1 Samuel. So,
well, this is all very interesting. Let's get into this. Where all this was found.
Yeah. So we'll get into this a little bit later too, when we see the slide on the verse. We're talking about that. But.
Okay. So you have a slide presentation to show us of the Ark of the Covenant. Now, first of all, if it's not in your presentation somewhere, I don't want to steal your thunder, but where is this located? Where we get into that?
The Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant.
Okay, it's north of the old city walls, and it's in the Garden Tomb grounds. It's located in that area, underground in a cave, and that's where Mr. White found it. It's still there today.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, without further ado, go ahead. Tell us about the Ark of the Covenant and how he found it.
Yes. And so our first slide here is myself with Ron Wyatt in 1997. As we were saying, Mr. Wyatt is the discoverer of the Ark of the Covenant. He also found the Noah's Ark site, the Sodom and Gomorrah sites, the Red Sea crossing, the real Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia. And so his credibility has been established. And when he comes out with this report of finding the Ark of the Covenant, we should believe him. Because, on the Day of Atonement in historical times, when the high priest would go into the most holy place to anoint the most holy, or the Ark of the Covenant, only one person would go in. And it wasn't a committee going in. It was one person, and Mr. White was chosen by God to be able to go into that cave. He came out with a report, and it's very exciting information.
And we talked about the death of those folks who tried to follow in and do something, noble with it, but they died going in, and we talked about that on the first episode of the series.
Yes. God, is protecting the Ark. In 1995, there were 6 men sent up this tunnel to try to get to the Ark of the Covenant, and they were all struck dead. And Mr. Wyatt was asked to pull their bodies out.
I'm assuming because everyone else was afraid to
Right.
do anything, and he made it
Right.
in and out alive.
Yes. So
Wow.
the Israelis know that it's real, that it's there, but they don't know what to do.
Goodness. Okay, so what are we seeing here?
So this is the entrance to the Garden Tomb grounds. This is a very significant area. This is the Protestant location, you could say, of Jesus' burial site. And inside is the tomb of Christ. His feet would have been placed to the right, and then his head to the left. They had to carve out the feet area because he was apparently taller than Joseph of Arimathea.
Oh, interesting.
This is like 6 feet 4 inches in length right here. And then this is where you exit the tomb. This is the exact place where Jesus walked. It's a tremendous opportunity to be able to walk out of this cave, this
Wow.
tomb. You can actually walk out where Jesus walked out triumphantly. This is the best place to go on earth. It's incredible.
And this is unlike a lot of other archaeological sites that are made up or supposed or assumed. There's enough evidence to suggest that this is the real one.
Yes. The ceiling stone or rolling stone, we're told in the Bible, was a great stone, and it was found over at the site we'll see shortly was the crucifixion site. It was moved over there and incorporated with the crucifixion area. So the local Christians knew this was the crucifixion site and the tomb of Christ. So here in front of the tomb, we see a cutout area where early Christians would have done foot washings, service of humility. And so this is an image of Mr. Wyatt. He was the one who found the crucifixion area we're going to see, found the Ark of the Covenant. And if you head back to the further areas of the garden, away from the actual tomb, you'll come to an area where Mr. Wyatt was walking with a gentleman head of the Jerusalem Antiquities Authority for the Jerusalem area in 1978.